it's pretty nice always having a training partner. And if you surround yourself with people that like are committed to the sport, like you're gonna get better. So it's like we're pretty much the same person. So like we know that we're both committed. So it's very nice. We can always build off each other, learn new skills.
What's up, guys? Today's guests are professional parkour athletes known to the world as Twin Parkour. Please welcome to the JAMCast, Aiden and Shea Rudolph. What's up, guys?
Hello. How's it going?
Good. Thank you guys for making this happen. I talked about this off screen. I totally forgot you guys are on the East Coast with the time difference. Where are you guys located?
We are located right in Boston, about an hour outside of Boston. So, yeah, we moved here when we were 18. So originally we were from Chicago, but we're here now, East Coast.
And what made you guys make that move? Because I do remember the old videos back in Illinois. So what was the move in 2018 for?
Yeah, my mom grew up here in South Boston, so her whole side of the family lives here, and so she always wanted to move here when we grew up, and then we also decided to go to college out here. So those were the two main reasons, just her family and then college.
No way. And so what university are you guys attending, or like?
We graduated in December. So we went to UMass Amherst,
yes,
where James West, Yellowflow, that's where he went. I was his roommate. So yeah, we graduated from there. It's pretty fun.
No way. I didn't know you were roommates with James. That's so cool. I was gonna ask, like, moving out to Boston, have you guys got to train extensively with Sean Batista and Alfred Scott and a bunch of those guys?
Yeah, that's one of the best things about moving here. In Chicago, we trained with a couple of guys, but when we moved here, I mean, everybody knows like Dodo came from Massachusetts, so like just seeing everyone training with Alfred, Sean, like you said, we have a friend named Connor who's really good too. So it's just training with all these guys. It's James as well. Yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah, I grew up watching those guys. They're like the people who inspired us most. And then now like we get to call them friends, and we train with them more than anybody else. So like that's our go-to training squad stuff. Yeah, it's awesome.
So I gotta ask, like, before you guys made this move out here, one of my first introductions to you guys was watching these videos of these crazy kids in like a basement, training in a kitchen, flipping off of couches. Was that like the old Chicago house, and what was the reason for all of the?
So we grew up in the house next to that house that you see in all those videos. Actually, my parents were doing some like real estate investment, and so that house was kind of abandoned for a bit, empty. And we found a couch on the side of the road, and we got some Christmas lights, and we got a door. So yeah, during like the winter, that like when it was, because in Chicago, I mean, in the East Coast it gets very cold too, but in Chicago, like sometimes it goes below 0 in Fahrenheit, and like. So in the winters, that's where we'd go. Just go in the warm house and train there. Yeah.
I was so curious. And so, like, did your parents approve of that stuff, or did you guys ever get in trouble for using the furniture?
Not at all. They because it wasn't really anyone's furniture. It was free furniture. We did beat it up a bit, like the sides of the couch. It was all broken. We definitely like busted a hole in the wall too. Yeah. We did like a gate punch backflip off the wall, and one of our whole feet just went straight through the wall. But the house is torn down now. Yeah, so it eventually got torn down. So there was no didn't really care with any damage too much. Yeah, we actually did end up moving to that house after for like 1 year before we came to Massachusetts, actually. But after that it was torn down. So. Yeah.
Now, I know there were some times where you guys had like mattress videos. Were there spare mattresses, or were those like your actual bed mattresses you just put together?
There's probably just spare mattresses. My older brother moved out, he went to college. He's 4 years older than us, so one of them was definitely his mattress, and then a couple of twin mattresses as well that were just lying around. But yeah.
That's super cool. And so, like, obviously you mentioned the cold over in Chicago. What is it like out in Boston? Because sometimes I see Sean training barefoot in the snow, and I'm like, I don't know if it's like a different cold. Or...
Sean's a different breed, honestly. Like he'll take a dive and he'll just break through the ice and just go swimming. It's crazy. But I don't know if I'm at that point yet. But if I hang out with him long enough, I'm sure I'll get there eventually. But definitely gets super cold in Boston as well. just not as quite as cold as Chicago, but pretty much the same, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, I like training in the winter. It's I don't know, you gotta change your style a bit, take things a little bit easier, but it's nice.
I think like one thing that's unique kind of about you guys is that you're from a generation where a lot of kids actually started in gyms, like taking classes or going to open gyms and stuff like that. Do you guys still get to like utilize the hub out there, or you guys, because most of your clips are all outside, do you guys just prefer outside training?
Yeah, well, yeah. So back in Chicago, we didn't really go to a gym much. So we trained a lot in our backyard, in the woods, in a house. And there was like an open gym that we went to occasionally, but it was super expensive. It was kind of far away. But then when we got here, there was definitely more gyms. We got Hub PTC. Yeah, Hub PTC. It's like the first like parkour gym that we started like occasionally training at. Yeah, we worked there for a bit too. So we trained there when we were working. But yeah, we really prioritize outside training. Yeah, we just have always done it. And I love going to gyms occasionally, especially like out in LA. But yeah, a lot of times we're trying to train outside, and I think that a lot of times too, like Sean and some of the people we train with most, kind of the same way. Yeah, kind of the same way. I mean, James trains so often that he trains just as much in the gym as he does outside, but he's training 24/7. So, but we train a lot in the woods and anywhere, basically anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, James is putting out like samplers every single day. I'm like, bro, these are enough clips for a lifetime. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, like his recent video, he got those. He hadn't even been saving for those videos. Those are like videos from probably like just this month, and he was doing J-Step the back and all this crazy stuff. James is crazy.
So crazy. And so how did you guys stumble upon the sport? Was it something that one of you discovered before the other, or like what was this first like spark that got you guys into it?
We kind of had just always been like flipping around, but we didn't really know what we were doing. Just doing like front handsprings, back handsprings, all of that, nothing too crazy. And then I remember, like I have just a vague memory of me like front flipping off an object, and my older brother was like, yo, that's parkour. And then we just went down the YouTube rabbit hole, So that was probably like 2012. So like 2012 is when we actually understood what we were doing was parkour, and just free running parkour. But just watching all like Storm free run videos, store videos, all just Team Shade, all those OG videos.
So did you guys have any like formal training in flips at all, or was it all just self-taught?
No. So in high school, we were self-taught in the beginning, and then in high school, there was a high school gymnastics team that we tried out, and it was a blast. And if you see us doing circles and stuff, that's where we like learned all that. Yeah, all about high bar stuff. It wasn't like club gymnastics. It was only like a short season, but it was some of the most fun I ever had. Yeah, sure. And I highly recommend it to anyone to do high school gymnastics. It's not as there's not as much pressure. You're just having fun with your friends. I made lifetime friends through it. So yeah, it was amazing.
Was it through your guys' school, or like was it outside club?
I know that there's not a lot of men's gymnastics high school programs like anywhere. I think Illinois and like Texas are like the only two places. No, Massachusetts has some, or maybe Massachusetts too. But like, there's not a lot of states that offer it. But if your state does, it's very fun. Yeah.
And what was the highest skill level that you guys got up to in that gymnastics, I guess, flip wise?
Yeah, so there's like 9 or something. I don't know what I don't really know the ins and outs, but there was just like freshman team, junior varsity, and varsity for our school. So we were on varsity for all, I don't know about you. All 4 years. Yeah, all 4 years. And he got injured one of the years, so I forget. But yeah, it was a blast. And yeah, I mean, it was a whole new learning curve too, because we came into it being able to do some flips and stuff, but then all these new, what do you call them? Apparatuses. It was like a whole playground, and some of our coaches, we would just flip off them, do crazy stuff off them. They're like, yo, you gotta learn form, you gotta learn point your toes, keep your knees straight. So it was a whole new thing. And at first I was a little discouraged. I was like, I don't like this, but I grew to love it. So yeah.
And do you think those like traditional gymnastics fundamentals helped you guys at all in your free running, or did you have to like completely change your style when you're just doing raw stuff?
No, honestly, I mean, I think gymnastics actually helped form our style, because we started gymnastics in the high school gymnastics in like 2014. So that's like 2000. Yeah. 2014, 2015. So like that was before we really had developed the style. We were still pretty young. We were only like 15 years old at that age. And I don't know, I credit some of my like bar skills and definitely all my circle skills like to gymnastics completely, because that's where I learned it. And I think it definitely helped with creating our styles and stuff. So yeah.
Crazy. And so when it came to free running, did you guys take any formal classes, or how were you guys able to elevate your skill level so much? Was it just training together, or did you guys have like a community?
We never took any classes, but we did like just having each other always like as a training partner. We just pushed each other. We're not super like competitive with each other that much, but still just having someone to train with always and push you was great, and it helped us.
There's a lot of guys out there that like solo train, but to be real, like neither of us are like used to that. Like sometimes we'll go off on our own, like if we're mad at each other or something. But very rarely. But I mean, we're usually always together. It's pretty nice always having a training partner. And if you surround yourself with people that like are committed to the sport, like you're gonna get better. So it's like we're pretty much the same person. So like we know that we're both committed. So it's very nice. We can always build off each other, learn new skills. He's better at some things, I'm better at some things. It all works out.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you guys, what do you think like the other strengths and weaknesses are? Is there one asset of free running that's easier to one of you comparative to the other, or is it very similar?
Yeah. Well, I'll say if you ever see any like double side flips or anything, I've never done one. That's always him. Like double side flips.
Even side flips.
Well, no. Well, on the double side flip, I start to like twist. I need to learn that. I need to go back to square one. But
Aiden does a lot. He's good at flow and stuff. He's starting to do more lines, but I usually do a lot of the lines, and he does like a lot of the big tricks that you see. And he's probably better at twisting than me. I probably have faster rotation. It's just it all evens out at the end, but there's definitely some things like castaways.
He's much better.
Definitely a little bit better. And
then he does very low castaways, and he probably can do it like, I don't know, very low. And I'm stuck at about waist level. Anything below that, I'm barely making it over. So,
but yeah, it's power too. Like he has a lot more power than me. Like jumps further, jumps higher for sure. So yeah, it's just certain different aspects that we're better at.
I think he's much better at flow as well. I think, like he said, I'm starting to hopefully get a little better at it, but like he's just much better at consistency, like being able to connect tricks seamlessly. I can maybe do it sometimes, but it'll take like 10 times or something. He'll just be like one shot, and he'll just keep adding stuff and go with the flow, literally.
Crazy. And did you guys like always grow up doing the same like activities and sports, or was there ever a point where you guys did different sports and activities?
No, we got the same friends, we do the same sports, we take the same classes, we took the same major.
Yeah,
we're identical twins and identical in a lot of things. So yeah.
That's super cool, man. And so like obviously I think you alluded to it where you said that there wasn't much competition, but I think like an obvious question everyone would have is like does it ever get like, do you ever get tense feeling like, wow, like that's something that I should land, like we're pretty much the same, or do you guys just help each other out?
Not really. Like when he does something crazy, like it sounds weird, but honestly like it makes me feel really good, like oh wow, like it's kind of like if he does something crazy, it's like, yo, I know I could do that. It's not like, oh, he did it before me. It's more like, I know I can do that. I don't know. It's very civil.
Yeah. There's no really jealousy or competition between us. Like I said earlier, it's good. It's a good thing. We just are always pushing each other. He has his strengths, as we mentioned earlier. I have my strengths. So he'll help me like design lines. A lot of lines that I tried in my AOM, he's like helping me out, trying to figure out like, oh, you do this there, and then I'll try to help him with some other things, and so it's a good relationship when it comes to actually training. Yeah.
Super cool. Now, obviously, you guys are most well known in social media, at least to the world, as Twin Parkour. What was the reasoning behind like starting that account? Like, and do you guys ever have aspirations of having separate accounts, or will you always keep it combined?
I don't know. Yeah, people ask us all the time, do you have separate accounts? We actually don't. Not even like.
We never really even thought about having it. I don't mind.
I never like use Instagram too much to like keep up with like my friends as well. That's not true, but like we can all share when we share the same friends. We share everything together. So it's like we don't have separate groups that one person wants to see what they're up to and the other doesn't. So we just have one account. We all see that basically everything that we need to.
Yeah, to answer like the first question, like I think that started one of my best friends, Nate. He just randomly is like, yo, you guys should start an Instagram, and I think he came up with the name. He's the one that created the account for us. So yeah, that's kind of how we started up with the Twin Parkour, and I kind of went from there.
Super crazy. And so, like, obvious question, are you guys the ones that are filming each other when you're out there getting these clips?
Most of the time,
yeah.
I mean,
sometimes Sean or James or Connor.
But, Sean does film a lot, honestly. Sean likes it. Sean's like a go-to camera guy. But yeah, when it's just us two training, we're filming each other. That's why a lot of times we don't do like clips together. I kind of want to do more of that, but it's kind of hard to get a filmer for that, and I don't know.
Hell yeah. And so I know one thing that was a little bit different in your guys' life was, I think, Shea, you broke your leg in 2019, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. That was he did. That was scary.
That was
at James' house, actually.
That was at James' house.
It was the first time like we met him, basically.
So what happened in that instance?
Oh gosh, well, that was just not a good day. I remember waking up and James wasn't even home, and I hadn't even met his parents. James had to like go to work, and like he did not tell us. So I was just cooped up in his basement. I was like scared to go upstairs and meet his parents. And I remember I was just like, it was like 3 p.m. and I finally got the courage just to go upstairs, and I had some cereal, and then I went outside, did a couple full-ons off his bar, and one of the last I rolled out of one of the full-ons I did, but Aiden convinced me to do another one, and basically what happened is I just it was a very high bar, and I landed. I overdid it, but I had one foot down on the ground, and my other foot came up. That's hard to explain, but my other foot was like one foot was planted, my other foot was just above. It just didn't even hit the ground. It just missed. So all that one foot just took all the pressure. And, it just snapped so quickly, just like that. And then I met James's parents. I screamed. I ran inside. I was like, yo, my brother just snapped his. I don't know what I said. It was honestly so scary. We had never experienced like an injury. He had, but I had never seen something so like graphic. So I was like, oh shit. And I had never seen him like, I don't know, get that injured in front of my eyes. So I was freaking out. I screamed not screamed, but I went in. And I was like, oh, my brother broke his leg in half. It was not fun. They came out. James's parents are awesome. They're super nice. So they were like trying to calm us down, but they were pretty scared too, and we called an ambulance, and he started calling his best friend. He was like laughing. He was in shock or something. The pain. It was just more like the pain was like, it hurt a lot, but it was like tolerable. But it was just more like looking at it, just seeing like it was just not a pretty sight. But it still like hurts now a bit. With like a hard landing, like it'll hurt like my surgery because I still got some metal in there. But honestly, it's like I've still like improved a lot since then. It doesn't really hold me back. So I'm very glad it healed.
What was the final like diagnosis, and what did you have to have done? You had a surgery with a rod inside, or? So
yeah, I broke my tibia and fibula, just right in half, and I got a plate on one side. And then I got a couple of screws on the other. So yeah, I got scars on both sides of my legs. But yeah, that was like right after we moved to Massachusetts. We didn't even have a place to live yet. We were living with our aunt, and then we had to move all our stuff, and he was injured.
So I did not have to. So
he got out of the work.
I got out a lot of work.
So I still hold a grudge for that.
And so have either of you sustained any other injury since then, or has that been like the most significant one?
Well, I broke my femur in 2014, so that was before. But that's like the biggest injury that kind of I just hate that I did that, because now my leg is like a little bit shorter than the other, because I did it when I was young and it didn't grow right. But yeah, I did that snowboarding and just hit a tree. So that was my biggest injury because, femur is like the
Biggest bone.
nada.
Other than that, he's broken his thumb, which was, I don't even barely remember. That was just a small thing. And then
Randolph, it was so weird.
Yeah. Just sprained ankles has been my worst injuries. Like,
very common in free running. So,
and we get some knee aches here and there, so we got to get those checked out, but nothing too serious, I hope. And other than that, we've been pretty healthy within the last year. He recently injured himself, but nothing too serious. So
nothing crazy, just a little wrist injury.
Crazy.
So I hope that stays the same.
Yeah, for real. And so, I mean, this is a dumb question, but I just have to ask it. Like, when he's injured, do you like sense it as well? Like, is there like a connection that deep, or it's not like they talk about in movies?
Well, yeah. So it's not like I don't feel any physical pain.
Feel the pain.
I feel bad for him. Obviously, I feel awful for him, and especially when he broke his ankle, he wasn't training at all, and I didn't train for like a long time. Like, he didn't train for however long the healing process, 6 months.
6 to 8 months. Yeah.
I maybe trained like once during those 6 months. Got one.
It was
video.
almost. It was so. To answer your question, it honestly was like both of us, almost kind of like both of us got injured.
Yeah, I did
It was
actually.
more so just like, I don't know. Yeah, he was kind of injured during that time, and
we didn't go out. Like,
we weren't
he
as
couldn't
like
film me.
It was like hard to go out and stuff. So.
And it was just a bad time.
Yeah, it was not a fun time in my life, I would say.
But yeah.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Well, I know, like, right now, you guys just most recently got back from a trip to Europe, right? Like, where'd you guys go out there, and what was the reason behind that trip?
We went to Sweden first with Ellis,
visit Ellis
and Davide Rizzi. He's
Italian.
Italian dude. They're both awesome people, and it was amazing to go out there. I've always wanted to go to that gym, X-Flow, that Ellis's dad owns, Eric. And Ellis's family was so lovely.
Yeah,
and they hosted us for like about a week and a half, and it was amazing. And then we actually went to Italy with Davide right after, and that was also amazing. We went to Milano.
Yeah,
we
met a ton of people. Crazy. Like, I feel like there's so many underrated dudes in Italy. It's crazy. I mean, like, all the pasta move dudes are crazy. It's just there's a guy named Seth who's a beast, and Tia. There's so many people I can't even name. Gabro. Yeah. It was amazing to meet them all. Some of them I hadn't ever known about, and I made new friends, which was amazing. And then some, like Seth, I had met. I'd seen on Instagram. I always wanted to meet him. And I got to meet him, and he was so nice and so awesome. I got to train with them. Super hot, but I loved it. It was amazing.
Hell yeah. And so, like, at this point in your career, like, a lot of people like have their attention and eyes focused on everything you guys achieve. Like, who do you guys watch these days for inspiration, if there's anyone at all?
I mean, I still watch my buddies, like Sean, even still, like, I train with them, but they're still they still continue to inspire me. James, and then
I mean, honestly, like, Ellis inspires me a ton. Kevin Franzen, another Swedish dude.
Travis
Berkey. He's crazy.
Everyone. Like, there's so many people that inspire me. The list would go on forever. But yeah,
a lot of times it's our friend. Like, we have a friend named Connor Pennington. He's like an underrated dude from Massachusetts. Super good. I got James doing standing double back when I like turn around. So it's like a dude's always inspiring me. I mean, just everyone I train with mostly. And people on Instagram too. So.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, I know you guys talked about how there's no like internal competition amongst you guys, but you guys have entered into competitions, and I'd say like one of the most notable ones is Red Bull Art of Motion, and both of you guys now will technically have the opportunity to compete in one, right? So Shea, I think you qualified in 2021, and Aiden, you got a spot for 2022.
So that was
exciting. So yeah, we'll be in Europe in a couple of days.
June 8th, I think, is when we fly out. But yeah, no, the Red Bull AOM in 2021, that was the best experience of our life.
Such a fun
meeting
time.
People. I didn't compete, of course. It was him competing, but it was still so fun to meet all the athletes. It was amazing. That was the best time of my life.
Yeah, it was our first competition, so that was like the first time I got to meet like all these people that I had met like Sean and Alfred when I moved to Massachusetts, but apart from that, like, that was the first time I met any dude from like a different country that train parkour, and it was just super good to see all these people that I've seen on Instagram, all these people that I love their movement in person, and compete with them. Yeah, A1 last year was such a good time. So hopefully this year it's gonna be. I mean, it is gonna be awesome this year. So excited for that.
So I got to ask, like, when you guys were making your videos last year, did you think Shea had the better video? And then this year, did you think Aiden had the better video?
Unfortunately, I got injured last year. I just bruised my heel pretty bad. So I was only able to get like 2 new clips. I decided to just use some older clips and make a video. I still was happy with it, but I was definitely hoping, I was like, our best chance is Shea here. So I was hoping that he'd get picked. We weren't sure. Obviously, there were so many great submissions.
So last year there was like 5 spots, so it was a little bit. But yeah, this year it was 6. But this year, honestly, I was like, because like I said, Aiden has been he's never been like a line person. But like this year, I was looking at a submission, like he had a bunch of really good lines, and I was like, I honestly thought I knew he was gonna get in, and he did. So I'm very proud.
I didn't know I was gonna get in. To be honest,
I didn't know, but I was hoping at least.
It was
a better chance.
Surprise, but it was awesome to hear the news, and there was once again so many great submissions. That's some of my favorite thing to do around this time. Just watch the AOM submissions, like Yassine's and so many other people had some Ilya, and Kaylin Chan's was crazy as well.
Yeah. And is a competition something that you guys really enjoy? Like, is it something that makes you nervous, or is it something that you really thrive under?
I think it makes me like a little nervous. Like obviously when I'm like, it's like bad time, but I really like competing. I like seeing all my friends. I like seeing my friends compete. I like making lines. I enjoy competing a lot. I always have.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. Yeah. The first competition I did actually was the Tempest one recently. I won't give anything away, obviously, but yeah. So that was super. That was amazing time as well. That was awesome.
One of the best.
But yeah, I think honestly, to go back to like gymnastics, we did have to compete in gymnastics, so that helps with like the nerves. Obviously, like he said, when you're about to do your first trick, the heart's beating a little bit. But the second you go, you forget about everything. You're just in the moment. So yeah, it's amazing. I like it. Yeah.
And like you said, we won't give away anything on Kings of the Concrete, but it was a competition that you both got formally invited to and got to compete at. Is your preference to compete in the same competitions against each other, or do you actually prefer what's going to happen in Art of Motion, where you'll get to like sit back and watch your brother, or vice versa the year before?
I thought it was fun competing with my brother, but I wouldn't, either way it's fine, but I think it's always good, if both of us are in the competition, both of us have a chance to win. So I would like it if we're competing against each other. I would in future competitions. I like that a lot.
Yeah, same.
Would you guys split the prize money if one of you won, or is it go to the winner?
I mean, honestly, probably maybe not half and half, but I would definitely like if I had won a competition, I would and that we had to like fly to, and I got the prize money, I would like pay for the cost and stuff. I'm sure something the same. Yeah. It's not never really about the money for it's more just the experience and just having fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And so with this year's Art of Motion coming up, are you giving him advice in order to help him in this round, or just going there last year, Aiden, do you feel like you saw enough just being there as a witness?
Yeah, I mean, I saw this year for the Red Bull AOM, they're changing up. They're doing a whole new format. I know a bit about it, but I'm not fully caught up. So
I think the format that Red Bull is this year kind of suits Aiden's style. A lot of it is kind of like video. So it's kind of just regular training, like everyday training. If you want to get a line, sometimes it takes more than one try. So Aiden can get a line if he tries enough time. So I think it really suits his style well. And
it will be different. There is a live competition portion of the Red Bull AOM this year. So maybe he can definitely give me some tips. Yeah, just some tips with that. But otherwise, I think it's gonna be something new. So we'll see.
Now, I know most of us recognize you guys enough that you couldn't pull a fast one and fill in and pretend to be him. But have you guys ever utilized that in real life, one pretending to be the other person?
Not as much as
we should. Yeah, probably should have. But, but hey, maybe in the future,
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, actually, there are some times that we've utilized it, like I'm gonna wrap myself out here. I'm not even gonna lie, but one time in like an Instagram video way back,
Oh yeah.
I did a line and I did like a dub cork at the end, and he's been better. And this is like back when like dub corks are I was struggling with him, and like I just kept on not landing it. So I was just like done with it, and we literally cut the video and we changed clothing, and Aiden just did the dub cork and landed it. That was in the past, but that didn't happen. That's the only time though. That's the only time.
That's pretty funny.
That was not. I mean, we shouldn't have done
Not
that.
our finest moment.
Yeah.
It's a good story though. At least like you took advantage of it one time. That's cool.
Yeah, we had to do it at least once, you know.
Hell yes. And so like right now, like obviously you guys mentioned that you graduated from college. So like what is the focus and the direction of your life right now? Like what is you guys like what do you have on your plate for the future?
Yeah, so we actually do work right now. Nothing related to parkour. We work in the city, and it's just like an internship job. So we're just getting a lot of experience. I work with a lot of great people who are teaching us a lot. But as far as like our major and what we graduated for, we haven't really done anything for that yet. We're kind of trying to do parkour as much as we can.
Focus on parkour and hopefully make some money off that, so we can do that for as long as we can. You know, that's like the main. It's like our biggest goal, just to like create a living off, at least for the next couple of years, off of parkour. So you know, going to these competitions, hopefully getting some.
How I see it is like, I have my whole life to like sit behind a desk. I don't want to do that, but like, you know, your body can only take so much for so long when coming to parkour. I mean, you have all these other avenues after, you know, but still, I kind of want to do this as long as I can, as long as my body allows me to, and then later on try to figure out what else I want to do.
I mean, that's why we got a degree, just you know,
just in case, backup plan,
you know. But yeah.
And what was your guys' degree in?
We both majored in environmental science. So, you know, just I think part of that, the reason why we did that is because we've always been training in the woods and stuff, and always felt connected to nature in that way. So we're just environmental science. That's what we want.
Yeah, we kind of just picked it randomly.
Hell yeah. And no, obviously you guys are both super high level athletes, you know, having the chance to compete at a Red Bull Art of Motion. And an obvious question from a lot of viewers is like, how many days a week do you guys train, and how many hours per day are you training?
Not as much as you think, honestly. We some of our friends are always trying to like push us to train more.
Since we moved to Boston, we've been training a lot more, which is good. But now that we have a job, it's hard. Like we try to train as much as we can, but mostly it's happening, you know, Saturday. Wednesdays we go to like an open gym, but then Friday, Saturday, Sunday we'll train. So maybe like 4 times a week. I mean, and then like, you know, when we were in Europe and we can train, we trained every single day. You know, like when we have the opportunity and we're like around people that are training, we're gonna train every single day. But sometimes it's like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah,
maybe less.
And do you guys do any cross training in order to increase your like jumping ability or your strength at all?
We should.
I want to start trying. It's like it's hard. Yeah, it's
hard to just like.
I tried a bit like last year or 2 years ago maybe. But I probably should. I know a lot of athletes are doing that now. So like, and like even like when I was in Sweden, like Ellis was doing it. So that kind of motivates me to try, because Ellis is a literal god. So, but yeah, not too much. We plan on it. Yeah, but everyone says that, so who knows?
I mean, at only 22, you guys have been in the sport for like a good amount of time. Like obviously, with the exception of your injuries that we talked about earlier, like how's the body holding up? Like.
It's good, yeah. It's good. I mean, other than like ankles, well, it's for me. It used to be ankles. I think for both of us, and luckily my ankles have taken a 180 turn, and they are on the right path now. I think now it's the knees.
Yeah, my knees.
And but I know like Kaylin Chan had a problem with his knees, and he did some like rehabilitation stuff, and you know he's turned that around. I think a lot of people are doing training outside of like their normal parkour training to save their body, save their knees. So I'm actually very motivated to start doing that type of thing. Because right now, every time I go out, the only limiting factor is usually my knees. And so I'm mentally, I'm like, I really want to train but not being able to go 100% sometimes stinks. So
yeah. If there's one piece of advice I'd give you guys as someone in their 30s, it's get on your conditioning now. What's crazy is I've had double knee surgery. I've had double knee surgery, shoulder surgery, all this stuff. And I'm in like physical therapy a few days a week. And my legs are stronger now than they ever were back when I was actually doing parkour full time. And so it's like, if I could lend one piece of advice to you guys, it would be jump on it now, because you'll just get astronomically stronger and more durable.
We we definitely like are, because just that's like one of the things when just like going out and seeing all these athletes. I remember like I was in Tampa Bay, and I like the way like Jared Ludi takes care of his body. It's like I always just see him, if he's not training, he's stretching, or he's using a massage gun, or he's like doing squats. I'm like, I need to start doing that. So I'm sure when if
the more people we meet, the more we realize that everyone's doing
we'll
that.
We'll get there eventually,
and we got to catch up. So
yeah.
I'm starting to do that.
And so obviously, like, you guys are very similar in a lot of ways. Now, when it comes to like parkour goals, are there any goals or moves that you guys are chasing specifically right now? And are they the same or are they different?
Yeah, I mean, nothing too specific now. I've always wanted to do, like, ever since I saw Travis do Kong double gainer, I was like, yeah, I want to do that. So that's like a goal of mine.
Kong double gainer for me is probably double cast. I know I just need to find a spot, and like I just need to.
There is a spot at
Well, I just need to be like healthy, and like I need to practice in the gym. I never I know I can do it. I've done it into water, and like I know I can do it. I just need to start practicing in the gym. But besides that, just I don't know, lines.
Yeah.
Can do lines.
And we always like see a spot, and we'll be like, okay, that's like I have not necessarily like certain tricks, but tricks at a certain spot or something like that, and like precision type tricks, Kong in or precision type tricks, a lot of those type of things. So I have a lot of spots that I have goals for too.
Yeah, and that was one thing I was going to ask you guys about, like it, just from your latest AOM submissions, like for example, the Kong gainer into like flipping right away instantly. Do you guys ever get nervous in these scenarios that you can't necessarily practice in the gym? And if so, like how do you like overcome the fear of new?
That one was strange. I had been at that same spot. It's at the Harvard campus, and I was there like a year prior with James, and I just saw that, and I was like, this is possible. And I was gonna do it that day with James, but I was nervous, and I was like, oh, am I really about to do this? And then the sun went down, and we're like, yeah, we'll save it for another time. But James was really visualizing it with me. He's like, yeah, it's possible. And then fast forward to the next time I was there, which almost like a year and a half later, Shea had just done a crazy trick. We haven't posted it yet, so I won't spoil it.
Okay.
He had just done it like in the field behind, and it was right there, the Kong gainer spot. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to try this. And we had like 15 minutes before we had to head back to our university. And James, once again, is like, yep, I know you can do it. He was a little nervous.
Yeah, honestly, like the spot, it was great. It did not look like...
He kept saying little hints. Yeah. Usually he's super supportive, but he was giving little hints like, hey, no, you sure? Are you sure? And I was getting pissed at it. I was like, dude, shut that. You know, I know this, and I credit it to James. Alfred was there too. He was being supportive as well. But and a couple of my other friends. But James was like really like pushing, like, yeah, you got this. And yeah, I actually wasn't as nervous as.
You got first try, and
it was the year before. Yeah,
and I think that's part of that is just since we've always trained outside. Like I'm not, there's some tricks that I'm like, oh dang, like I'll like shy away from. I like won't do if I'm like super scared. But I think part of us just always training outside, we kind of have that mentality like. That we don't get super nervous before trying something,
which can be a problem. Sometimes it's sometimes not trying things that we shouldn't and get injured. But yeah.
Hell yeah. No, it's good to know. And so like with that being said, like what advice would you have for some young kids that are like trying to get into the sport themselves right now? I only ask because you guys are of the new generation. My generation, we really didn't have access to YouTube or classes or anything of that sort. So what advice would you have to some young kids?
I would say taking classes, and
I said taking classes, but also like training outside. Like a lot of people will train in gyms, which I think is a really good thing. training with coaches. But then outside of that, you can't. I feel like don't just go to the gym, train there, and then go home. You got to train outside, like by yourself or with your friends, and like surround yourself with people that train. Sometimes that's hard if you can't find anyone, but you'll make friends if you do, and you build off each other. Like and also I'm watching YouTube and Instagram, like just getting inspired by certain athletes, taking someone's style, making it your own, like building your own style. Those are like my biggest, just training outside.
I also, but also training in the gym safely, I think is also hugely important. And like you said earlier, I mean, this is like the easiest way to make friends, like parkour. Everyone is rooting for each other. I've made so many amazing friends, lifelong friends through this. So if you just find a group of people that have the same passion as you, it's so easy to just make friends. And like you said earlier, you just train together. You have a instant connection, an instant friend group, and instant training buddies. So yeah.
So I just got to ask, just because you guys do always train outside so much, what is your favorite shoe for training?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have
in the very beginning, like when we started, I never had a shoe. I always just like a shoe that's black and white. That's always what I wanted. So I just could go to the store and be like, I don't know. I don't care if it's Adidas, Nike. But then I remember one day being like, yo, what does Dom wear when he takes these drops? I'm like, what does he wear? And I think I asked James, I was like, yo, what are those shoes with the line on it? He's like, yo, those are Vans. And I was like, researched and I found Vans Ultra Range. So now my go-to is
Ultra Range.
Van Ultra Range, just because they're light, but they can also take impact. They're grippy. They look cool, I think. So
I was talking to some Italian dudes, like Seth, and he
Asics, right?
Well, yeah, the Asics, and that was also Aaron Boom recommended those, and also the Nike SB something. So there's a few out there that are great.
We want to try. I also want to try the running shoes.
But right now
it's
Ultra Range.
Ultra Range.
Yeah, I got a whole collection of Ultra Ranges too. I don't know if you guys have tried it yet, but Olo, they have a version of the Ultra Range.
They sent us one pair. I've yet to try them out.
Same. Mine are sitting in a box in my kitchen right now.
I want to try them out. It's just
I will
so
try
used
them
to
on
shoes.
Yeah, I actually just went through my Vans. So maybe now's the time to try them.
Yeah, I recently had Dom on the podcast, and he told me that he used to wear the Ultra Rangers, and now he switched to that one because he's like, it's pretty much like that shoe, but it's just made a little bit more durable for PK. And I was like,
maybe I gotta.
Ultra Rangers, I will say, I get those. I've gone through so many pairs.
Yeah, it's just the top kind of ripped, like
Yes.
it always rips. It's unfortunate, but
they are
very
great
good shoes
for their short-lived span.
Hell yes. And so, with that being said, guys, this is a question that I ask everyone. Where do you guys see yourself personally 5 years from now? And then where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Yeah, hopefully doing the same thing, still training hard, meeting new people, going to competitions.
Probably still in Massachusetts.
Yeah, maybe if there's other opportunities that parkour, like other parkour opportunities or like parkour adjacent things, then hopefully we can do some of those. But yeah, kind of the same thing we're doing now, just more often and maybe more. Yeah,
just like I don't know, making money off parkour.
Well, no,
I mean they're just like making a living off parkour.
Yeah,
more so.
And that's 5 and 10 years, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe.
Hell yes. So before we get out of here, guys, can you just let people know where they can continue to stay up to date with your guys', I usually say personal journey, but for you guys, your combined life journey, and just shout it out. We'll put it on the screen for everyone to check out.
Yeah, Instagram is where we post the most. So that's twin.parkour on Instagram, and then YouTube also. We're trying to post there more as well. So that's Twin Parkour
coming out soon, hopefully.
Twin.parkour on Instagram and then Twin Parkour on YouTube. So that's probably the best way.
Hell yeah. Well, I really appreciate you guys making the time to come on here. Like I said, it was really cool to see you guys in person at Kings of the Concrete for the first time. And I'm really amped to see what you do at Art of Motion this year. And it'd be awesome to eventually have you guys back on sometime, whether that's alone or together. But I know you guys are the future of the sport, so I can't wait to see what you guys keep doing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, bro.
I love this podcast. So
it's amazing.
Very, very nice to be on it, talking with you. So appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much, Travis.
Hell yeah. Yo, guys, with that being said, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe for brand new episodes each and every week. Join us every Monday for Jam Breakdowns and every Friday for brand new Jamcast, interviewing influential members of the movement community like Twin Parkour themselves. So with that being said, I got to give one more very special shout out. Thanks for coming through, Aiden and Shea. I really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much, bro.
Hell yes. And as always, guys, coming through, I'm your host, Travis Wong. Thanks for joining us here on another Jamcast. Until next time, we'll see you all soon. Peace.